There it goes.
There it is.
Welcome to the Prospectors Radio Show, the talk show for our community. Please welcome Rich Cooley, Indiana Gold Hunter Dennis Dayton, Kathleen Biffle, and your host, Tim Grimes.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another Sunday night edition of Prospector Radio. I'm your host, Tim Grimes. We got Dennis Dayton over there, Rich Cooley, Y Gold Rob, and Jaron Wheeler here tonight. And we'll be joined in a couple minutes by our special guest, Mr. Matt Hospodar.
Yep.
Yeah, we know a lot of you guys all know him, so he'll be dropping by here in a couple minutes. First, we'll get the gold prices out of the way and a couple other quick things, and then we'll move on to the guests. So what's happening, fellas?
Well, not a whole lot.
It's a Sunday.
I planned on doing a little bit of prospecting this weekend, but the rain decided to move in yesterday and today.
Yeah. So what's coming my way?
Man.
It was nice yesterday, but today
I got to mow some grass, and now
so did I got to mow some grass and cut up a damn tree. That kicked my butt, man. I'm old. I didn't realize it. So I cut up that tree and toted that wood and stacked it. I was like, Jesus God, Tim, you're old. I got done, dude. I took a shower, I hit the bed, and I stayed in it. I did not get back out of that freaking bed. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I can't do no more.
Yeah.
But you got to realize I cut about an acre of grass with a push mower.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then after I get done with that, it's like, okay, this tree fell. Huh?
Gotta get you one of them zero turn mowers.
I got a push mower.
Oh.
What's that? 20-inch cut? 24 maybe?
22.
22? Yeah, about a 22-inch cut. Yeah. So that kills me. And then it's like, okay, now I had this big ass pine that fell in my yard, and I was like, okay, I got to cut that up and get it out of the way. So, I was beat. That's too much for an old man to do.
Man, you didn't even get a chance to wax your car then.
I didn't. See, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to wax my car. And then today it called for rain, so it's like, so maybe next week I get the first coat of summer wax on that bad boy.
I was working on vehicles all weekend.
See? Did you fix it?
Chevy big van, 3,500 front rotors, and
that's always fun too, right?
Well, it's a brand new vehicle. He's smoking brakes coming down the mountain.
Oh, really?
Warped the rotors.
Oh,
I worked on some cards.
Oh, you worked on cards?
Yeah. He had 30,000 miles on the van.
And that's it. And he smoked them rotors.
Yeah.
Crazy. Rob?
Oh, we went and scrapped some aluminum and
aluminium.
however you guys want to say it, but we weren't too pleased with the end results. But
really?
Yeah. I mean, it was like under $60.
How much is aluminum now a pound?
I think they were charging 25 cents a pound.
That's it for aluminum?
Yeah. This is cheap aluminum. And plus they told us it was like 60% aluminum. It wasn't clean.
Because they do the dirty price and then they have the clean price.
Right. Okay.
Yep. So we got a bunch of scrap that we got to haul off tomorrow. And hopefully a little bit more.
Take the time to clean some of it, then you get a better price.
I get more for regular scrap iron, don't you? Scrap metal? Then
Probably
more than 25 cents a pound, right? Yeah. 25 cents a pound. It's got to be.
Hard work.
But we tried this one place because they had 5-star review on Google, and when we got there, it was kind of I don't know. We just basically, it was difficult for us to get in because we were on a trailer. We had a trailer, we had it back in, and we had to unload it into a little box.
Yeah.
But there's a guy like a couple blocks down. You pull in a trailer, they got a grappling hook, and they just pick everything up. So we're gonna go check them out.
We
Monday.
did that one year. Me and a buddy collected beer cans all year.
Yeah.
Took them in and had garbage bags full of them crushed. It isn't worth it.
Yeah.
Melons.
Well, it's funny
sitting
down
around
in
your garage.
I think usually
smelling
like
everything.
I think
It's not worth it.
it's like $1.49 a pound. So you bring in 10 45-gallon bags full of cans, you're gonna have payday.
Yeah.
And that's what I do that too. A lot of my aluminum cans I see on the street, I'll take it home, crush them, put them in the bag.
Yeah, we did that, and that didn't work out very
Yeah.
well. But stunk and
Yeah, it's a lot of work scrapping. Yeah.
Yeah, this was hard work. I got in a break. I think it cost me like $35. And I ended up getting the AFC West division, which was the Chargers. I don't know the other three teams, but ended up getting a card. A Josh Allen. This is what they call a downtown. It's a case hit. Came back a perfect 10. Cost me $20 to get it graded.
Uh-huh.
And it's worth right around $1,300.
You can sell it?
Absolutely.
Who do you sell them to?
I just whoever wants to buy it. I posted on Mercari. Like they got
tells you
eBay.
what they're worth, Dennis.
You just look at the comps, what they've been selling for,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, that's what you usually go by.
So there's other ones that was graded as a 10 of that went for $1,200. So that's what
One sold for $1,400 something. One sold for $1,100. So you
Okay.
kind of get an average.
Right. Got it.
Cool.
You just got to find the sucker to pay that. That's all.
Oh, it'll sell. I had that. Well, Jaron, close your ears. I had a Josh Allen Buffalo Bills downtown, and I sold it for $1,550.
Hey,
One card.
I'm gonna start buying cards.
It was a downtown, just like this one. This
Uh-huh.
one's a downtown. Justin Herbert.
Those are the ones you find in the Walmart boxes.
Yep.
Cool.
1 in a million. Yeah.
Is that 1 in a million?
You just got to know what to look for.
They have like this right here. See this box?
Uh-huh.
It's what they call a blaster box. There's, I think, like 24 of them to a case.
Okay.
And then out of that case, one of those boxes is going to have a downtown in it.
So how much is a case of those cards?
Well, if you you can buy the boxes. The boxes are like, I'd say about $35
A box.
a box.
Uh-huh.
But I got into a break, like I said, and I got the AFC West. So every card that was an AFC West, card, those were all mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they ship them to me, and
Yeah.
I sent it. I was praying that, because you never know what it would grade, and it came back a perfect 10. I was like, oh.
Could be a perfect 10, right? It's brand new, right?
Well, yeah, but still the card might be off center a little bit. It might be,
Something that's out of your control.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
so yeah. I got back 16 cards.
Cool. Pretty interesting stuff.
At $20 a pop.
Pretty cool. Yeah, and then you send it out and have it graded for $20.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And you take a chance. I mean, you might get one that comes back like this.
Uh-huh.
I totally disagree with. It's a 6. Tom Brady die cut. It's a beautiful card.
Right.
It's offset just a hair. But something, I don't know. I mean, a lot of times you can crack them open, retake them out, and resubmit it. I've done that and come back with a perfect score. So, I mean, that grader, just to me, I think it just depends on what mood the grader's in.
Huh.
He might hate Tom Brady. He might have had a bad lunch, was in a bad mood. You don't know.
It could
You
be. You're right. You're right. Could be. Interesting. Wow.
So-
Rob,
Yep.
we're in the wrong business.
Yeah, I guess so.
We're buying boxes of cards, dude.
Yeah, you get the right players and rookies, and man, you can hit some pretty good money on them.
I guess I'm gonna start
How about those gold prices?
Yes, who's got
Yeah,
gold?
gold prices.
Okay, let's see. For gold, we're looking pretty decent. It actually went down 1.59%, but it's still above 2000 at $2,018.60. Silver took a dump of 1.33%, but it's still above 25 at 25.77.
Yeah.
Platinum went up 1.73% at $1,070.
Uh-huh.
Palladium went up 2.90% at 1,567. Rhodium actually took a dump at 2.94%, and it's sitting at $8,600.
Okay.
And the Bitcoin,
Bitcoin, baby.
Bitcoin's still about the same area. It's $28,800 about right now.
28.8. Okay, Jaron, quick cryptocurrency question. What's this Pepe coin I'm hearing about?
What?
Stay away from it.
Stay away from it. Roger
What?
that.
It's getting a rug pull soon.
Roger.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Pepe.
Pepe. Pepe. Pepe.
like Pepe Le Pew.
I think so, yeah. I know they were
Is it
pumping it up big time the other day.
Be kind of like Bitcoin or what?
It's just a cryptocurrency. It's just a altcoin. Yeah. It's just another one of them coins. Just curious about it. Thank you, Jaron. All right. You want to send our guest an invite and let's get him in here and start picking his brain?
Yeah.
Insane.
Jaron, you got that right.
Yeah, it's been sent already.
Thank you, sir.
I was posting it as I was talking about the Bitcoin price.
Cool. Thanks, brother. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, we've had Matt on here before. It's been a spell. It's probably been a year or so.
Has it been that long?
I think. I mean, I'd have to look through the archives, but I think it's been an easy year.
I think it's been
Yeah, it's been a
longer.
while.
Think it's been longer, Jaron?
Yeah, I think.
Can you hear me
There
now?
it is. Yep.
Yeah, we do.
Hey,
How you doing?
No problem. Good. How are you guys?
Good, buddy. It's been a while. How long has it been?
Was it 2018 or I don't know?
Oh, it hasn't been that long.
It's been a long time.
I
I
think
feel like it's been at least 2018, 2019.
I'm thinking it's only been like a year.
Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah, tell me about
He
it.
didn't have a munchkin then. He's got a munchkin now.
I have
Wait
a
a minute.
19-month-old munchkin.
Yeah.
I swear you did. Dude, I swear you did. I'm gonna see now. I'm gonna have to look in the archives and see when it was.
Yeah, I'm not 100% positive on when it was.
Well, you was gonna last time I think we talked, you was thinking about coming up to PA. Was you gonna move up here or something at that time?
I'm living in Pittsburgh right now.
Oh, so you are. So when
Yeah.
did you start? When did you go to Pittsburgh?
That was spring of 2020.
That's probably when it was because when we were talking to you, you were talking about coming up to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, because my wife got residency at UPMC in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we moved up here. But
So that's probably in around when it was.
come 2026, we'll be moving back to Virginia. So
Okay, I got the mystery solved here.
All right.
It was Sunday on 12/30/2018.
Oh my God. You're right.
right.
Matt.
damn.
Jeez, that doesn't seem like it's been that long.
Yeah, I knew it was a good while.
It didn't seem like it's been that long a while.
No. So are you a Steelers fan now or
I mean, I grew up in Western Pennsylvania. I grew up in Beaver County. right near
Okay.
Pittsburgh. I can't say I watch much football at all, but sure, if I'm going to cheer for a team, it's going to be the Steelers.
Right? You live there. Gotta be.
Yeah, if I'd be any other one, I'm pretty sure I'd be lynched or something.
Right.
Man, you travel down south a lot too. If you're over around Pittsburgh area, man, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in Central Virginia from 2013 to 2020.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I'm right off of 81 there, Shippensburg.
okay, yeah, my wife grew up in Pottsville,
Oh, okay.
right where Yingling is. So, you know.
Oh, so where are you doing all your prospecting at now? Still in Virginia?
Still in Virginia. Yeah, I have hundreds of years worth of prospecting to do probably in Virginia. And I mean, I still have private permissions and stuff mapped out all over the place. And yeah, I could spend lifetimes there. I do a little bit up here
stuff too.
Right.
Yeah.
I do a little bit up here in like Western Pennsylvania and Eastern Ohio and stuff, but I mean, yeah, there's gold, there's a chance for pickers and stuff, but it just doesn't, Glacial doesn't seem to hold my interest quite as well as the potential to come across ounce nuggets and stuff in Virginia and Hard Rock and other things that are all potentially there.
And also, we can't do motorized equipment. So
no, that's why I dredge over in Eastern Ohio. It's within an hour, so I go over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Where at over in Eastern Ohio? What part? Where are you going to?
Actually, where I don't want to go anymore because of a certain train derailment.
Oh, you're going up that way.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure if I'm going to be prospecting in some of those creeks for a good long while.
I think I might stay out for a while.
I wouldn't do that either.
There's literally videos of our representatives and stuff like kicking the gravel in one of the creeks, like right where we've dredged. And I'm like, yeah, I'm probably not going to go back there for a while.
I don't think I would take that chance. Yeah.
No.
Done with that.
It's going to take a long time for that stuff to be back.
And then some of the other areas, like even the Mahoning River up around Youngstown and stuff. Then you get into like the steel mills were in there. What type of I get put off by some of the contamination that could be in the rivers from all the industrial stuff. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to dredge here.
Right.
Is there gold? Probably.
See, I didn't think that
is it worth it? Probably not
that far. You know, honestly, I didn't think it made the push up that far.
Yep. Yeah, right through what county is that? Not Cumberland. Shit. Now I can't remember the name of the county off the top of my head, but yeah, I mean it went central, like south, western Ohio, it's down lower, and then as you get to central, it jogs up, and then it kind of trains up above, right north of the Ohio River and stuff.
Oh,
it goes over into Pennsylvania, south of Youngstown, north of Beaver, Pennsylvania and stuff.
Yeah.
So the Beaver River and all that pushes stuff into the Ohio. The Ohio River has gold in it there. I found it even on the Allegheny.
Oh.
North of Pittsburgh near Harborville. I've found fly poops in the river and glacial material that's there.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever get over in the Susquehanna up by Harrisburg?
Not really. No, I've never done much over that way.
I wondered because there was so much exposed bedrock. Now, some people said that they were in there and they did find some gold, but I've never.
There should be glacial material in there, so it's certainly possible. I did do some panning on Loyal Sock Creek.
There's a crap load of bedrock in there. I mean, you can almost abandon your boat in there. I mean, that's the thing. But the thing with it is, you couldn't put a dredge to make it worth your while, you know, to go on these little islands out there and do the picking and stuff.
I've always
pickers, but
I've always kind of thought that if you could dredge in Pennsylvania, you'd be coming out with stuff like what you get in Ohio. But I think it's deeper in the rivers and stuff, like in the Beaver Rivers and these other ones, and you can't get to it.
Well, I know in York, Lancashire area, when I always went over there, we always had to go at least 2.5 to 3 feet deep before we even started hitting gold. But the thing is, with your bucket and a classifier, you know, and you're shoveling and you get 15 5-gallon buckets and only get 10 pieces of fly poop, it's not even worth it to get deep enough to find stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
Now we all know that Pennsylvania does have gold, and if you find that right spot, but nobody's going to tell you, you know. And I heard this
Oh.
up around Raystown and
Oh yeah.
stuff like that.
One of the guys I know, he has a YouTube channel as well, Jesse Streeter. I think it's Pennsylvania Gold Prospecting or something. He had gotten permission from a gravel pit to go into some of their equipment in Pennsylvania, and he was getting some nice little, like, biggest pickers and stuff I've ever seen come out of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a gravel pit, I think it's always a win-win.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd love,
That's
I'd love
the
for them to
thing,
give you
too.
permission to go dredge in one, because I don't
Yeah.
know then what the legality is of dredging in a pond
If
in
it's
Pennsylvania.
private, if it's on private land,
so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not going in the spillways. I mean,
In Indiana, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of your videos, Dennis, on what you pull out of the gravel pits and stuff, and you guys got a lot of them out there. And yeah, Indiana has fantastic gold. I mean, you get better stuff in Indiana sometimes than we get in Virginia.
yeah.
Wow.
Which is insane to think when all of our sources are right there and your stuff is coming from
Yeah,
Canada.
came from
now,
the,
do you do any of the Contrary Creek anymore or not? Because
I haven't been to Contrary Creek since 2014.
yeah, it's been a while since I've been down there too. It started to eat the wheels on my freaking trailer, you know.
That's where I started. That's where I first started panning. That's where I found out about it. It's where I got my first nuggets.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I love that creek. I tell you what, that was it. I mean, besides it being like turn your clothes red and all that and being acidic, you didn't have to worry about bugs down there.
I was gonna say my one buddy loves it because he didn't have to worry about bugs, ticks, snakes, nothing.
It was
Wait,
Curls in,
wait.
run in.
wait, why don't you have to worry about bugs and snakes and ticks down there?
So, upstream of the main areas that people dredge there is the Aramis pyrite mine and
Okay.
some other like old mines where they're actually mining pyrite. So it has copious amounts of acid mine drainage from deteriorating pyrite deposits.
Really?
Yeah.
When you went there, everything was red. Down in the water was red. And when your hands turned red, your clothes turned red, everything was red when you were done. You know,
We always joke that if you saw a turtle or a snake like go in one side of the creek, it basically would just, you'd see bubbles and dissolve away and there'd be nothing.
So there's
I mean,
no,
you had to go down this ramp. They had like a parking lot up there that, you know, they couldn't stop people from parking in. You had to cross the bridge and get down this stone path. And then you went down a real steep hill to get out into the water.
Yeah.
Once you get out, you could take your four-wheelers down in there, but man, it was a sucker trying to get back up out.
Yeah, that's if you weren't a
I remember.
lease member at the time when they had a lease, but that lease hasn't been, it's been defunct since 2018, 2019.
Yeah, probably. That's
got
when I
bought.
stopped going down. So you can't get down in there anymore with the four-wheeler?
You can. I don't know if you can get I think people still do take four-wheelers in there. I think they're technically semi-trespassing and stuff, but
Right.
once you're in the creek, then below the bridge,
Right.
you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, here's
oh, that's a nice piece.
as I say, these are my 2 like 1 gram nuggets that I got at a Contrary, like my first nuggets.
Yeah, there's some nice ones.
Oh, no.
Real
Oh,
nice one.
And then yeah, the
Perfect.
other one's about the same size.
There you
Oh,
go,
those
corn
are-
snake. Yeah.
Those are both nice. Yeah. Heck yeah.
But yeah, no, I haven't been back there, and I don't have any plans to go back because I don't want to ruin my equipment. It
Yeah.
literally it ate a brand new 2.5-inch Keen dredge high banker. It like dissolved the riffles away in less than a year of being in there.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah,
you
that's
would,
nice.
you would put so your nozzle would be rusty.
Right.
Put it in the water, give it a couple 10 minutes or something, and it'd be all nice and shiny again. Pull it out and let it sit on the shore with a half hour. It's complete rust again.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is some strange stuff. Yeah.
There is it.
And the hard pack down there was like, what do they call that stuff?
Cement.
Daggone near, but they call it something else.
Caliche.
Caliche,
Yeah, caliche. Oh,
like an
man.
iron caliche type
You
stuff.
got down
Yeah,
into
hard
certain
pack.
spots, you couldn't go down any deeper unless you took a water blaster and shoved it. That's what we did. I did a fire hose. I
Right.
shoved the fire hose down into the water and just watched it bubble.
Yeah.
Then he just took the sucker and sucked all the material out, and then did it again.
Yeah.
Just kept going.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever had, if you know of Shaq. I'm sure if you've
Yeah.
been on Contrary, you know Shaq.
Oh yeah, I know. Shaq.
I think he still frequents down there, but I don't think he's on Facebook really at all. So he's
Yeah.
kind of with the disappearance of VA Gold
Right.
and that forum going away, which is a tragedy because there was
Right.
so much good information on
I
that.
know. And Shaq actually did a whole story on it. I forget the actual name of the story. I don't know if you ever knew that.
He's the Jenkins Mine Project at the
yes,
the
yes,
ICMJ.
yes. The
Yeah,
projects.
yeah, but he's
That
now,
was-
I think he still frequents Contrary, but he goes out to Idaho
Yeah.
up on one of the Clear Fork. I think one of the Clear Forks every year now with a pro line. I think he's got a storage locker with a
Yeah,
pro
the
line.
Jenkins project. So if you're ever interested in that, look that up. That is an amazing story.
Yep.
He has all kinds of maps and all kinds of stuff that he documented down there and stuff.
He is the master of Contrary,
Yeah.
no doubt.
He knows that place like the back of his hand. Yeah.
And Contrary, I believe, is like a weird oddity. Just how those gravel deposits are so exposed and open with no vegetation locking them down, no nothing. It's such a, and you can even go back on Google Earth and you can see like the channel being in different areas and stuff changing.
Well, the amazing part about it is the riffle, basically the exposed bedrock by the bridge. Every time you go down there, it would replenish itself. So everybody would hit those right away and get good gold because it's just laying right on top, you know.
Yeah, and there must be some deposit in the bank somewhere right up there that it's just eroding it out of when it floods, because that creek will flood violently and quickly compared to most in Virginia. Most don't flood quite as bad as what that one does.
Yeah. So where do you else head in Virginia? Since you don't go to Contrary anymore.
So
That
I
you
mean,
talk about.
so 2015 or 2014, I met he went by the moniker three-wheeler Willie on VA Gold. And I met him down at Contrary. And he had a 3-inch dredge below me where I was panning at the time. And I kept running into him down there on each weekend almost. And I would start talking to him and all that. And eventually they were doing a clean out and I got to watch and they put out a 23 grain nugget.
Wow.
And at that point, I'm like, so 1.5 grams nugget, basically. At that point, I'm like, a pan and shovel's not gonna cut it here. I need to get a dredge or something. So I got a 2.5-inch dredge. And then by the end of that year, I got a 4-inch dredge.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
But he introduced me to a couple other buddies of his down there, and they took me on CVGP.
Okay.
So I started dredging with them on CVGP Claim 2 in 2014.
Now,
And
you still a
then-
member of them? CGB?
I'm not currently, just
Yeah,
because
I'm
I'm
not.
not down there right now. I was at the February meet. I was at their first meeting of the year this
And
year.
that's
so
what-
I'm down there.
Cumberland, what's it called?
Central Virginia Gold Prospect.
Central, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
Central Virginia Gold Prospect.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I started dredging with them on 2, and at that point in time, I started going heavy into research, and I also started asking for permissions. And by the end of 2014, I had gotten permission on a gold bearing creek, and the initial 1 hour. So I plotted, there was a section of creek there I was interested in for some reason. Me and one buddy went and we dredged about 5 sample holes, and the one produced about over 0.5 gram in under an hour of dredging.
Wow.
And then that's where we lived for 2015. And that stretch of creek, about 60 yards long by maybe 2 yards wide, produced over a troy pound of gold.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
stuff
you
like-
did really good then. Wow.
Yeah.
still no ounces, but I mean, like chicken wing,
Holy cow.
and then
Wow.
12 grammer, 9 grammer.
Oh.
Yeah, 2015, I got 4.5 ounces in that year.
There
Wow.
you go.
Nice.
But we played it out in less than a year, pretty much. Like we were on the tail end of it come 2016, and then it petered out, and that was it. But I mean, it's right on the source. Even though we can't find a definitive vein, the coarseness of the gold, it has not traveled because it's also produced specimen pieces like that.
Wow.
That's nice. I like that one.
But
Beautiful.
every time we went in there, I mean, we expected to be, there's quartz stringers everywhere in that section.
Uh-huh.
We expected to be chipping them out and just pull out a potato. And all the quartz we ever chipped out of bedrock there had nothing in it.
Wow.
It's been slightly baffling. And it hasn't been hard rock mine. They plastered around that area a little bit. But there's a hell of a source somewhere right there.
Right.
I just can't find it. And I've also metal detected the hillsides heavily and come up with nothing.
Yeah, I didn't really do too good down there. I guess I just didn't know the areas. Did they get any new leases down there? CVGP?
Not yet, no.
Is 5 and 9? 5 and
They
9?
lost claim 9 and they lost claim 5.
Oh, I didn't think they lost them.
Claim 5 that got sold off by the property owner, so it's no longer accessible. And claim 9, we still don't technically really know what happened.
Oh, okay.
Which was a shame because claim 9 was 600 acres and had 3 miles of Bird Creek on it and how many other tributaries and streams and the Bertha and Edith mine. And yeah,
I forget the ones I was on. We really didn't do too good, but
I think you were on 5 and 6 that one time when I remember you were down there.
yeah.
But you played around more so on Joshua Creek, I think, and you didn't go into the Slate.
Yeah.
The Slate would have been a better choice.
Yeah.
My luck. Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I still have access to that property, and for all even above where all that big street came from and stuff, it still produces coarse crystalline gold all throughout it. So the only thing I can think is that there's quartz veins everywhere. So it has to be like small, discrete stringers, and only certain ones are producing gold, and they produce gold, pinch out, and disappear.
Uh-huh.
So it's really hard to like nail down where it's coming from when you have 4 miles or more of creek that's producing crystalline gold throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
And it's not in the hillsides.
Right.
Huh.
You would think though, with how much we've dredged, we'd have come across one of the veins in the creek that is like just gold pouring out of it with some.
So you're not actually finding any good channels or anything that.
What do you mean?
As a channel, once you get out and hit a spot, and like channels in towards the bank or anything. No,
Not really. No, I mean it's all the bedrock varies here and there, goes up, down, all over the place. But I mean,
okay.
as far as I can tell, we can like kind of hit on pay streaks, but then they'll dive off under the floodplain.
Gotcha.
Because I partially think that most of the southeast, back 10,000 years ago, Ice Age time, most of the creeks were more of like, your braided stream channels. And they covered the entire bottom with gravel, and you had channels that would move about.
Okay.
But
So
then
when
after
you're-
but then
When
after
you're
the
out
ice,
on that water, what are you looking for? I mean, when you're out there, I know you got lots of experience on this. That's what I'm asking you. You were just talking about it.
So what am I looking for in particular? Most of the time I'm looking for where the workings were and getting closer to those, because if you read some of the older documentation on stuff throughout Virginia and the Southeast, most of the profitable gold was never further than about 1.5 miles from its original source.
Yeah.
So in the creek itself, it's hard to say what you're looking for because I've hit stuff that looks like it should hold amazing gold, craggy bedrock. You got hard pack, fantastic looking stuff, and it'd be nothing. And then some of this stuff in the what we call the honey hole, I think some of it's just baffled me, because then like this guy, which is like 3 grains.
Yeah.
This is one of the few ones I was able to see, because most of that whole stretch, there's not enough water flow and everything just backflowed on you and you're in a big mud puddle. But this one I had dredged down and I was at a bedrock trench and then it came back up.
Hmm.
And this nugget was sitting on top of the bedrock trench area on the high ground
Wow.
under like 4 inches of loose material.
Wow.
Like, why are you're supposed to be down in the valley, not up top? Why?
Yeah.
The only thing I can think is that it's basically you're almost right on the source. So it's not necessarily doing placer-like things.
Uh-huh.
Doing eluvial things, like more like a metal detector. The guys in Arizona with the eluvial sources, like you're on top of the source. It's right there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So you had some massive flood thousands of years ago come through, pop it up and went boop, and then nothing's ever moved it since.
Now, do you guys have any faults out in that neck of the woods that may be possibly bringing up?
So
Liquid
many of the gold mines and stuff in Virginia, there's a couple different areas. Many of them are related to faults.
Okay.
This one is bordered by a fault, but I haven't been able to necessarily discern if the gold is related to the fault. Because the fault's offset from it, but also a fault's not a singular straight line like most people,
exactly.
like it shows on a map. It's
not like San Andreas.
It's like a rose type structure where you have a whole bunch of, I can't quite show it. It's a whole bunch of fingers coming up in like kind of a V-shaped rose structure a lot of times. But if it was pertaining to the fault more so, you'd think you would have a centralized vein somewhere running with the more direct fault, because I've nailed down like where that contact is between the two formations. And once you get below that, the gold hasn't been that great. Yeah, so faults in some places in Virginia, sure, they're the main gold veins are right on it. This creek has geologically, there's not much information on it. There's been no research papers. The mine information scant to tell you even like the strike and dip of the vein. So it's been slightly baffling on exactly where it's coming from.
Wow. That's some big pieces, though. That's got.
So we've been
heck of a
watching your
story.
show, like I told you when you just wanted to be a guest. But we noticed you've been doing a lot of like the LiDAR and the Topo Cali. Is that something you've gotten into more recently, or something you've been doing for a while? Or?
So LiDAR is something I've been intrigued with since probably getting into gold prospecting, and I think I finally figured out how to generally render it and get it to work in 2016-ish time frame, 2017. So I've been playing with it since then. I can't live without it anymore, but there's now apps and stuff out there that almost like without you having to figure out how to download, render, use GIS programs and all that. Cal Topo is one of the main ones that like if there is good LiDAR, it will generally have that layer available for you. Most of the entire East Coast is covered from Maine all the way down to Georgia. It has fantastic LiDAR information. And the free base app has good enough. Like you can usually see most of the features. Now, if I'm getting real in depth in an area and trying to look hard, I'll render my own stuff because it's higher quality and better.
Mm-hmm.
But Cal Topo for general mapping and use of LiDAR for looking over large, vast areas has been fantastic. And yeah, I mean, I used LiDAR for the Idaho trip. I use it all over the place, all over the US.
What exactly does it show you?
The bare earth ground surface as if there were no vegetation.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it'll only show you what the ground surface is. It doesn't go beneath the ground at all, but its vertical accuracy is generally I think the current stuff is 1 meter. So 3 feet. So if there's something that was man-made that is more higher or lower than 3 feet, it'll generally pick it up. And I think it's generally even more accurate than that in most cases.
Right.
So you're looking, I can see all the old workings. I can look at contrary and I can see all the trenches, pits, shafts, all the stuff, inner workings in there, the old dams, everything that's buried off under vegetation that you can't even crawl through if you want to.
Wow.
I can see it all.
Well, you've been, since you've been traveling a lot and traveling around a lot, what would you say has been the most scariest thing that's ever happened to you?
Most scary thing that's happened to me. I'd have to say it was probably on the Idaho trip in 2022 out on the Salmon River. We almost sank my buddy Nick's boat and him and everything in it out on the river there. Because we were trying, so I don't know if you've seen the pictures of the whole cataract thing that I built out. So I mean, we can motor up and down the Salmon River and move around on it without having to like drag stuff. Because I mean, that's a big river.
Right.
But basically, we were trying to get anchored out in real fast, deep water, probably 10, 15 feet deep and moving at a clip. I got an anchor thrown out and set. And it set hard. And I mean, the thing is, the anchor line wasn't lined up quite with center line of the boat. So we're kind of in the water twisted.
Right.
A bit sideways, which was in that fast of water was sketchy. And around that point, I was like, we're not going to be able to set lines, get straight and get a diver down. I'm going to be billowing out backwards, hanging off the umbilical, even with like 100 pounds of weight on.
Right.
But at that point, my buddy Nick had already tethered his boat up to me. I decided I was going to move and get forward and try and pull the anchor. So I started, the thing is, was how the cataract was built is my motor to push the cataract around is sitting over the front of the dredge. I don't know how everybody defines front, back of the dredge. To me, front of the dredge is like where your hose comes out.
Right.
So my motor is where the hose comes out. So basically I'm facing, the boat itself is facing downstream, but the dredge is facing upstream.
Gotcha.
Right.
So in order to orient myself to pull the anchor, I have to flip back around. And in the process of flipping back around with Nick still tethered to me, it all goes a little blurry and I'm not quite sure on the complete progression of events, but I start moving back upstream. He's tethered to me now he gets caught up between the anchor line and the boat. And then I either shut the engine off or I think I have to shut the engine off because I'm just going to hit Nick.
Mhm.
Like the prop's going to hit his boat. So I have to shut it off. So then the current tries to rip us back downstream. And now the anchor line's running down his boat and hits with where his motor is on the transom.
Right.
And is basically going to completely flip him over. And I think at this point, I'm holding on to the anchor line with dear life, trying to hold the boat in place. And luckily enough for that brief period of time, he was able to get his dive knife out and cut that anchor line.
Wow.
Now, was it life-threatening? No, I don't think anybody would have lost their life, nothing like that. But his whole boat would have went flipping over in the river.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't have to be
Motor to the bottom, shit strewn everywhere.
Yeah, you would have lost all your stuff. Yeah.
Huh?
Well, some of this, the cataract.
The whole trip.
That was a butt puckering moment. And of course, none of it's captured on film.
Sure.
Because when you're trying to, we filmed a lot. I mean, we have like 6 episodes or more on YouTube of that whole thing out there. But when you're trying to do stuff like that and you don't have somebody dedicated to filming, like I can't run the boat and work the camera. Like that shit goes pitching over as I'm trying to not kill somebody.
How'd you do down there in Idaho? Pretty good. Did you like it?
I mean, I love it out there. I would go back again 100%, but no, it just didn't quite pan out the way we wanted it to. We did our whole sampling regime over that whole section of river. The best we got on might have been a quarter. I think it was a quarter of a gram or a little more an hour with a 5 or a 6 inch. And it just wasn't, that river can produce more.
Right.
We weren't looking for that stuff. So we kept sampling. And now, was that the best decision in the long run? We probably should have just set the 6 inch up, thrown my buddy on it. It was nice shallow water where it was producing that, and just let him go. And then me and my buddy Mark should have went off sampling.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing is nature conspired against us. There was a landslide up on the Montana border.
Mm-hmm.
And we kept, after about 6 days of maybe like crystal clear Bahamas water, we got these slugs of mud water coming down through.
Oh, wow.
From that landslide, and it would just completely mud you out for a day. And then it would kind of clear up, and then you get another slug of mud coming down. And it was like, some of the stuff is like, I'm not willing to dive in crazy deep water without being able to see more than a foot from my face.
Right.
So that hurt us, because we were planning to move to a spot that one of the Idaho locals there had told us to go to and everything, where he had done fantastic a number of years ago, but it was just above like a fast set of water. And we were like, without being able to see, without knowing what the bottom looks like, without knowing all this stuff, like, I'm not willing to pull a dredge and go set up in a potentially dangerous situation.
Yeah.
With rapids right below me and stuff.
Yeah.
We got 13 grams in total, I think 14 grams total.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, we ran production in that one spot like maybe 2 or 3 days, and we were getting 3 or 4 grams a day running one dredge,
Right.
running just the 6 inch.
Sure.
And we just kept sampling instead. So could we have gotten, if we would have just stick right there, set the 6 and the 2 5s up and just plowed?
Yeah.
Sure, we probably could have came out with over an ounce or two.
Sure. You could have at least doubled or tripled your production. Yeah.
But hindsight's 2020, and we were looking for the
Right.
1 to 4 grams an hour, which, I mean,
Sure.
the guys on that river, they're not staying in a place and setting up and staying there unless they're on about 1 to 4 grams an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So
Gotcha.
21 days is not enough on a big river.
No,
Like that,
you were there 21 days.
give or take. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a trip.
I would go back. That river's beautiful. Yes, it's open to the public and there's no claims on it. There are leases, but I think currently there's only 2 prospecting leases via the state.
Uh-huh.
So you don't really have to worry about running into those that much. You usually can know where they are. But for it being a public river, like, with how big it is, how deep and how fast some of those were, like, nobody's dredged that whole thing.
Wow.
And you had a
There's
place
still-
to camp?
Yeah, there's just a campsite right along the river there with bathrooms and just primitive camping.
Cool.
Just right on the river. Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Um,
you got to pull all the dredge permits and stuff for that, even though it's public access.
Correct. Yeah, you need the state dredge permit, and I don't. It depends on who you ask, but technically, there's also, I don't know if it's an Idaho or if it's a federal NDPES permit type thing,
IPDQ, something like that.
something like that. But basically, none of the dredgers on the Salmon River ever pull it.
Really? Okay.
They just get the state permit, and they say federal has no jurisdiction here, basically. And the sheriff sounds like they back them, but it sounds like some stuff on that may have changed within the last year.
Does.
So it's hard to say.
I know when I was there, I had to have a water permit and then a dredging permit. And a
Well,
water
if you were up on the Clear Fork or the
Yeah,
other
they're-
ones, yeah, those ones are like fall under, I don't know, critical waterway. I don't know what they call them. They throw a whole bunch of other names at you out there for them. Luckily, the salmon seems like generally the sheriff is on your side. The locals don't care, and
Yeah,
as long as you have your Idaho state permit, you're generally fine.
Yeah.
I'm also not a lawyer or not a specialist on any of this, so don't take my word for it. If you go get arrested doing it, I'm
Yeah.
not to blame.
Well,
Now, when you were there, there was that lightning strike and
Oh yeah,
the side of the mountain on fire. It seemed like
Yeah,
that
right
spread
up there.
very quickly.
yeah, yeah. That was just more than like maybe a mile and a half upriver there. Luckily, it was on the other side of the river. Yeah, we had a random storm come through, lightning strike, and a forest fire take off on the other hillside there. But they had it stamped out by that night. I was surprised that they were actually actively putting it out, because a lot of times it's like if there's nothing in danger and it's a natural fire, they let it burn, I thought, but they had it put out by that night pretty much.
great.
Yeah, we were like, wait, why isn't the sunset over there? What is that on that hillside that looks like a sunset? I'm like, no, that's a fire.
Fire. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's great.
So that was interesting. But yeah, nothing endangered us really from that. But no, won't be going back out to Idaho anytime soon. Part of the thing with the wife was that for it to become a yearly event, we had to at least recoup our money and do well. But
Well, see, that's fair.
it had potential. It had all the right signs. It had all the research to it. They're big hydraulic mine pits right off to the side where we were dredging and stuff in our sample area. The sample area is rather hard to get to compared to most of it because the road doesn't directly border it. But I don't know. I think part of the reason is it's too new of a channel.
It seemed like from watching your series there, I didn't see you guys actually run into any other prospectors. Did you actually run into? Just it wasn't on the film, or?
Yeah, we did when we started. Well, I knew him already from the previous time I was in Idaho in 2020, but he was dredging up above where we were camping, and we eventually, once we ran out our whole sampling going down 4 miles of river and stuff, and didn't come on anything, we pulled up, went back around, and then met up with him for a day or two. But it was the muddy water just kept killing us, because he was on some potential stuff, and then we were kind of getting on it too there, but it was in 18 foot of water.
Wow.
And we had a day of good visibility, and we were like, okay, we'll keep dredging here tomorrow. We're going to give it another go, and mud. And I'm like, I'm not dredging in 18 foot of water.
Yeah,
not being able to see. We like to joke that Bessie, the 10-foot sturgeon, was going to come up and get us, even though sturgeons are, they won't hurt you. But I guarantee you, if I see a 10-foot sturgeon swim up on me underwater, I'm probably going to shit myself.
Probably.
Because that is huge. And yeah, Nick, my buddy Nick, he'd be walking on water basically and gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a 10-foot fish. It's like,
Yeah, they're evil looking too.
They are.
Yeah. Prehistoric, creepy looking. And I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not dredging in 1 foot of visibility. I'm just going to be freaking myself out down there constantly. Danger of boulders and others. Like,
yeah, you know what's going on.
Yeah, you don't have a clue. You can't see. That's no good. Right.
No, and that deep of water is already probably slightly dangerous, because at that point we had 35 foot of hose on the dredge at least.
Wow.
Because we were just keeping the dredge like off on the side in the calm water, and then the diver would just go down the bottom and out into the faster stuff. Because once you're on bottom, it's not that bad. But anchoring dredges, I mean, that's something that a lot of people don't realize. When you're in big rivers like that, deep water, it's hard to position your dredge where you want it.
Yep.
Like, you can throw anchors out and stuff. Is it going to grab? Is it not? You're going to get twisted sideways. You got to get like 2 out to pull straight, and then it's its own complex operation and stuff.
We found that out down in Alabama. It's really rough to do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'll say the Virginia rivers, while they're probably at least the James is as wide, it's just not the same ball game. The James, I can walk across in most places, whereas like this one is, the salmon is not walk across. You can't walk across it in most places. And it's probably 6 to 10 times the flow of water as well. So yeah, even the big rivers in Virginia being generally more prepared for being able to move around on rivers, navigate up and down, go wherever we want over miles and miles. It's just, getting set in place in deep water is still I still don't know what the best solution is. The guys I know out there and talk with a lot, they run a 2-inch, I think like a 15-foot 2-inch steel gas pipe as a spud.
Wow.
And they bent it. And they had to take a hacksaw and cut it off to free themselves. So like anchors, spuds, like what's the best in those tight in that swift of water? I really don't know.
Right.
Possibly the best is simply keep your dredge in shallow water, easy to maneuver, and then just run 60 foot of suction hose out.
Yeah, that's insane.
And go where you
Yeah, and then
want.
if you get a jam, you're screwed. Yeah.
Ugh, yeah, that'd be a bear.
So where's your next trip gonna be?
Back down Virginia, Memorial Day week.
Just down to Virginia again?
Yep, yeah. This whole summer is going to be down Virginia.
Just Virginia.
Be on private property, easy access stuff for Memorial Day week because my wife and son will be with us and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
We'll be camping and dredging for about 5 days.
Okay.
And then the follow up at the end of June is going to be on one of the rivers down there with just me and a buddy. And then I'm doing a panning demonstration for a veterans kayaking group.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to be camping on the river for 5 or 6 days, and they're going to come through over the weekend, show them how to pan and everything. But that location I'm interested in and have been interested in for a long time. A vein definitely crosses the river right near there, and that vein has produced big gold from old mines in the past. So
yeah,
possibly chunky gold. It's hard to get to. Sure, you got houses right up there over top of you and stuff, but it's a couple miles downriver from the nearest input, and then it's like another couple miles downriver to get out. You got to stage vehicles. You got to.
Yeah, but could be worth it.
Yep, just as long as the rivers cooperate.
Right.
So
Yeah.
aren't flooding.
Yeah,
and then
you should be fine though.
And then this in September, we'll be out on the James for 5 or 6 days dredging in a new location that has some promise and stuff.
Nice.
It's going to be probably setting up a whole sampling regime over 2 miles of river to try and nail down, hopefully something good.
Cool. That'll work. Nice, man. That should be.
Sounds
like you got it all planned out already. The summer's pretty.
For this summer, yeah. That's one of the things with having a kid and all that. Like, I got to make sure all my stuff's planned out well in advance. So everybody knows, like, okay, I won't be here during this time. You got to figure out everything else for him and wife and everybody else. So,
do you have any place like you had time wasn't an issue, money wasn't an issue, anything like that, travel, just any place in the world, location you would love to just go?
I mean, we were trying to plan to go to Alaska. My problem is I need to do copious amounts of research to determine exactly where I want to go and get interested in it.
Right.
Alaska, I've started doing a good bit of research on, but then you run into the whole claim system and got to figure out the claims and all that. Luckily, Alaska is substantially easier state claim wise than federal claim wise, because Alaska's state claim system is fantastic. Federal claim system seems like a wreck half the time. But as far as other countries and places to go, I don't know. New Zealand, I would love to go, but you're still dealing with claims and stuff. They get fantastic gold out there. It was a shame to see Abyss Dredging pull their channel and stuff.
New Zealand.
I still think in the Southeast throughout Virginia all the way down to Georgia, there's still fantastic gold to be had.
Right?
It's more difficult to locate because it doesn't have it's so close to its original source that you have to be like almost sniffing on the vein within a mile or two to be even getting anything worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it harder to locate good stuff. And especially, I mean, private property is its own thing, but Virginia is luckily pretty good with how it deals with navigability and rivers and everything. And I think Carolina, both North and South Carolina, are as well. I Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't have a great answer. I would love to go back out to Wyoming and spend a shit ton of time out on the Salmon River. But as far as like a definitive place, I would love to go.
Just no, huh?
I mean, of course, Alaska's on everybody's list. It's still on mine too.
Everybody,
You'd be
Unfortunately,
surprised. A
our-
lot of people say Australia.
Australia, yeah. Everybody always says Australia.
If you're metal detecting for gold, yes,
Right.
definitely.
Huh?
You can't dredge there anymore.
You can't.
Well, it's so
been-
secluded. I mean, if you was able to bring your own water, you know,
Sure.
that's
Yeah, if you can
that's
find water,
going to be
right?
pricey.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, if you can find any water.
Right.
I may try and buy a book, I guess, from the pre-Australian dredging ban. It's gold dredging in Australia, but it's
Wait.
I think it's pre-80. It's pre-1980.
Oh, wait a minute. So they banned dredging in Australia?
Yeah, around 82 or something, I think.
Really? I didn't even know that. Jeez.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But I'm interested just to get that book. Like,
Yeah.
did they do anything different than we do? Like, I mean, it's completely different country. I like old books and stuff and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, you always see them with picks and shovels and all that anyway, and that material is so hard.
Yeah.
It looks like
Yeah, I
there
mean-
isn't any water.
I mean, like I
around.
have this one from, I think this is like the One of
Yeah.
the-
Look at the dredge. Yeah, that's all.
third printing, 1979.
Yeah, I would say, look at the dredge setup. That's
Yeah, it's on Intertube.
or two.
The thing is like
It works.
the information is fantastic in it. Just
Right.
like Dave McCracken's books and stuff on dredging. Like I think
Huh?
Oh,
if you buy a new dredge, like it should be coming with his one book or a couple of his.
Oh yeah, yeah. The dredge should come.
Any
with-
dredge you buy new should come with this.
It should. You're right.
Oh wow!
That would solve so many people's
Oh,
issues
God,
and
yeah.
questions.
Wouldn't it? It's like the dredger's handbook. Here,
Yeah,
this comes
Old
with your
Dredger's
new
Handbook.
dredge.
Yeah. I'm surprised Keen doesn't sell any.
I know. Why don't they?
with it. Like, because I thought it was partially published by Keen, or they helped him.
I'm sure they probably had their hand in it somehow.
Published by Keen Industries.
See?
Did-
Yeah, it was published by Keen.
So why don't it
Industry.
come with every dredge you buy?
It
No.
should.
It should. King should do that.
I don't know why they don't. But no, I love old books like that and stuff, and any of them get my hands on, I usually do. This one was a great one. It still has great
yeah.
information in it. This one gets a little technical,
Okay.
but it's got great information in it on stuff. I don't know. I have an entire library dedicated to tons of different stuff.
That's cool. That's how you get all that knowledge. Right?
I mean, even other areas, because like this one's Maine.
Okay.
Next to the river.
Maine and Maine. Yep.
But I don't know.
Have you ever been to Maine?
Nope.
Not yet, huh? You planning it?
Not unless Brian invites me out at some point.
What states have you been, Prospect?
Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Idaho.
Okay.
Would you ever decide to come down to Arizona and dry wash? Or
I mean,
land?
if I had the invite, sure. But the thing is, I don't know how much I'd like dry washing.
It's tough work.
It looks like a dusty nightmare.
And
Or even land dredging?
it is.
It's a dusty.
It looks like a dust. If I was in Arizona, I'd probably be
Hard
picking
work.
myself up a better metal detector, and that's what my primary focus would be.
Right. Right. I think I would.
Picking on Bill Southern stuff and going with that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I would try dry washing. I don't know if I would get into it. I have a love for dredging because I love the rivers and being in the water and just that environment itself.
Right.
I mean, if you're willing to come down next winter for 1 week and just come over to our claim and give it a couple of days to try. And would you-
Yeah, I'd have to
something
see.
like that?
It's definitely, I'll say currently, it's difficult for me to go very far for any length of time other than like Virginia or stuff like that. Because we're also, some point coming up here in the near future, we're probably going to be trying to have another kid too. So we'll see how that goes. But come 2026, we're also planning to be moving back to Virginia.
Right.
Or not. So
you never been to North Carolina or down there at Lucky Strikes or
I don't like pay to play places.
Yeah.
I have so many areas mapped out that I know I can go and get like 2 grams or more a day and like without having to deal with anybody for access and stuff like that.
Yeah, I did that years ago, but I mean,
it has no, I don't know why it doesn't have an allure to me. If I lived in North Carolina, I think for some of the more like public type events that some of them put on, I would go for the meeting people aspect.
Right.
But to just go there and dredge, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I am a true prospector in that sense of the term. Even getting what we were getting in 2015, I would get bored of that location. Even pulling that gold and stuff. Like I always want to get out and find new areas and map stuff out and figure it out. And like, where else is there other spots I can pull out great gold?
More kind of like Shaq did, with Contrary.
Yeah.
We got involved with the area, and
I do want to get down to North Carolina. I have spots mapped out on public rivers and other places to go where I can go without having to pay and go places and everything. It's just always been, I have so many places still near me in Virginia to go that I want to check out that like what's pulling me down there yet.
Gotcha. And the gold that you're finding there that you're selling, why go anyplace else?
Well, I mean, so 2015, I got that 4.5 ounces. After that, it petered to, I generally average an ounce a year.
Yeah.
But
still, that's good.
For me to stay and be happy on a location, I need at least 1 gram a day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm moving and going to be trying to find other spots. But yeah, no, I've done metal detecting throughout Virginia to find gold. I've done high banking, panning all over the place. I mean, I work for a gold exploration company in Virginia on one of the things there that they're doing. There's a Canadian junior exploration company in Virginia doing exploration. So, cool. And I've done exploration work for them. That's too many explorations all in the same sentence.
All right. Now here's a question, Matt. So, I know how much you love dredging. Say Discovery Channel called you and said, we want you to come and work on whitewater. Would you like to do that?
I would like to do it. Yeah. I think it'd be fun.
Would you enjoy that type of
Life on the other hand,
Oh yeah. I'd have to hold my tongue for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact. I would have to hold my tongue because like Dustin's in charge, but then also it a lot of it's just simply part of the show and what gives it the drama that like
right.
You don't use a 6-inch dredge to go through 20 to 30 feet of overburden.
Okay.
Like that's just plain and simple. Like, no, you don't do that because how rich it would have to be on bottom just goes up exponentially once you get past 6 foot down with a 6-inch dredge. It needs to just start becoming exponentially richer as you go down deeper and deeper. And by 30 feet, like it's been their issue throughout the entire thing. They'll finally get down 20 foot, 30 foot down, clear 2 square foot of bedrock, and the season's over.
Yeah.
It's not feasible.
Yeah. Takes too long to get to where you need to be.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And I'm sure Kayla would probably has the same thoughts and issues. Hence why she has her own operations and right. She does. And I'm pretty sure she has the same picking points that I do on that, where I'm like, it's for the show. Right. And sure, there's great gold down there, but the question is how do you get to it in a timely manner?
Right.
Because they're not doing it currently.
And what about Bering Sea gold?
Yeah.
Called you to do under the ice.
Would you do that?
Yeah.
You would do that too? God,
I would dive under the ice. Yeah, in a second.
Yes.
In a second, I would do that.
Man, no way.
Now going up there myself and just trying to do stuff, like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's too tough.
Look, we've looked, a couple of us have looked in the logistics of it before, and the logistics just turn me off. it's a logistical nightmare
Yeah.
to try and go up there and do it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the question is who would I dive for? Vern. I don't know how Brian dives for Vern.
He's
Yeah.
actually, we've had him in the Zooms and the after parties and stuff, and he's not like he is on the show.
Is it so? Okay, so some of that stuff I haven't got to the recent season, but it sounds like at one point during the show, like he lit Brian up.
Yeah.
But I guess if that's for the show, then I don't care. Like that wouldn't bother me.
Oh yeah, they're friends and everything. It's just
Oh,
a
yeah.
I'm sure they are. Yeah. Because I've dredged with Brian too, and he's a fantastic guy. And yeah, 100% dredge with him again.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see currently in my current life situation how doing the show would be feasible with a toddler
Yeah.
and all that type of stuff.
Right.
Would I do it? Yes. I just don't know how the feasibility would work. Because for one, being a new person on the show up there, they're going to pay you crap.
Yeah.
You ever get into any treasure hunt shows like Curse of Oak Island or Civil War Gold or anything like that?
I've watched some of Curse of Oak Island a number of years ago when I was more so working out of hotels and stuff. Like when I had a full-time job down in Virginia doing geotech work and I was farmed out a lot doing drilling. I was in hotels. So I would watch a lot of it then, but I haven't watched it in the past 3 or 4 years.
Now, would you, let's say maybe go out to the beach and swing a metal detector, or even the local park?
Every time I'm out at the beach, I'm swinging my metal detector. Yeah.
What model and brand do you got?
Equinox 800.
Nice.
I used to have a GPX 4800 as well as a Gold Monster and everything when I was down in Virginia, but I sold them off since I'm not down there now.
Uh-huh.
And when I go down, my main focus is going to be dredging.
Yeah.
To get gold with metal detectors down in Virginia takes its whole own thing with its whole own locations, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Well,
it produces good gold. It can produce good gold, but you have to get to very specific locations.
Okay.
And so my one buddy who is the master of gold nugget hunting in Virginia, I think they've detected over 35 gold mine locations, and 4 have produced detectable nuggets.
Wow.
Nice.
With one of them being a 7-ounce nugget, but that was back in 2013. That property also is no longer accessible, unfortunately.
Of course not.
So,
yeah.
Relic hunting, would relic hunting be your thing too? Especially if you found a private property that had some ties to Civil War and you came across some Civil War relics, or even an old homestead or something like that, even if you were in Idaho or not mainly Virginia, but anyway.
I mean, I metal detect up here and stuff. I mainly am interested in silver coins and stuff, but I'll do relic hunting and everything. Coins are more of an interest. Some of the relic hunting stuff, a lot of times it seems like you're just pulling out rusty iron. But here's an interesting, can you guys see this better than it looks on my screen?
Oh, yeah.
Do like a cup it with your hand. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So this is, and I don't know, maybe your metal detector is, guys. I haven't been watching the chat at all, but this is a scruple.
Scruple.
A what?
Has anybody ever found a scruple metal detecting?
Heck's a scruple.
Look it up. It's an apothecary weight. This is a 2 scruple brass weight.
2 scruple.
And a scruple, I believe, is 20 grains. So this weighs about 40 grains.
Wow.
If my memory serves me, let me put it on a scale here real quick.
Now, are you talking about fishing weights or?
No, this is a brass apothecary weight.
Okay.
Oh, for weighing gold and stuff.
Apothecary be for weighing like medicines back 150 years ago.
Okay.
Pharmaceutical.
Yeah, so it's 39.3 grains.
Wow.
So the only thing I can think, because I did not find this metal detecting, I found this dredging.
Okay.
This showed up in the sluice box dredging where we pulled out all that gold. And the only thing I can think is they were using it to weigh gold.
Okay. Right. Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But like, if any of the metal detector guys, have you ever found a scruple? I've never heard of anybody else ever finding a scruple for anything.
Never even heard of a scruple until
I don't even know what
right?
it is.
like, what the hell's a scruple?
Because it has
I don't even
like
know how you spell it.
SCRUPLE.
C-R-U-P.
It could be the company, yeah, but
No, it's not a company because
No,
these are
that's the
usually
name of it.
seem
I've
like
heard of it
they're
before.
they're handmade, I believe, and it has like Roman symbols on the back.
okay, trade weight,
I forget what they mean and stuff.
probably trade weight, maybe, you know,
The only thing I could think is they were using it to weigh gold.
It could have been.
maybe that snake oil medicine guy that comes through town.
Yeah, but no, the best thing I think I found around there metal detecting was a 1895 Indian head penny.
So that's your best metal detecting find ever.
No, in the creek down near where we were dredging.
So what's your best metal detecting find ever?
Best metal detecting find. I mean, gold nuggets count or
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
if that's your best one, if that's your best find.
I mean, I guess. I mean, so I did find an 18 karat white gold ring on the beach.
Okay. That's
But
good.
also, I mean, I found I don't know if this is my biggest metal detecting nugget. This one's about 2 grams.
Okay, that's a score.
That was a screamer.
Yeah.
I think it was a rather silent, a rather quiet tone.
Really?
Well, it must have been a little deep then.
That was in what state?
Virginia.
Virginia. Okay.
I've only metal detected for gold in Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Now, did you find it with the gold monster or the other one?
That one I think was when I was with Brian. Actually, I think I was with the Gold Monster. Yeah, because that's 120/20. So that was with Brian.
That was with the gold.
wow.
And I had the Gold Monster, and he was running the SDC 2300.
Yeah.
It was found in the road,
What? Really?
logging road. The logging roads would go through some of these places, and they peel off
Sure.
overburden
Yeah.
and make some of the stuff detectable. And at that particular location, almost all my stuff came out of the road.
I'll be darned.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I used to prospect up in Idaho, way up in the Panhandle.
Yeah.
And I got a guy here in chat. He's a legend here, and he's from Idaho too. I had an old timer tell me, and he'll back me up on this. When you're driving down those old logging roads, check your wheel wells. There's going to be gold nuggets stuck to them. And
That'd be cool.
he wasn't kidding.
That's cool. See? You just never know.
I mean, as far as true metal detecting finds, like other than gold, I mean, this one was from Virginia.
oh, see?
Oh, nice little.
Can you see what it is? Because all it is blurry on my
Yeah.
screen.
Like a mustard ball.
Like a
Yeah,
mustard.
that's what I was thinking.
No, it's a Union jack. Civil War Union. Can you see there's an eagle on it? Like it's in perfect
Oh,
condition other than the gilding.
Eagle.
Yeah, when you
Eagle
turn it
bite, all right.
sideways, now
And
it
the shank is still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah, the shank's still there on the back.
Yep.
All right.
Oh.
Nice, nice.
That was on claim 9 with Brian, actually.
Oh,
In just a random location out in the middle of nowhere.
That's a cool.
And then other than that, I got some silver coins and stuff from like my sister's house up here in Pennsylvania, but none of them like that's a quarter from 59.
Okay.
Nice
So
Washington.
Those are good points.
so when
I don't know
you
what
guys-
this. I forget where I found this was. I think it's some sort of boot, not a boot ornament, a brass, maybe boot. I don't forget.
Yeah. Like
It's a brass boot.
like a heel
or-
plate or something like that.
Yeah, heel plate or
Decorative
something.
one. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, for some fancy boots.
forget where that one came from. You know what that is.
Yeah. Oh.
That's
It's an unfired Winchester 30-30. No, I mean, I do metal detecting. I'll hunt for minerals and stuff if I can find them and everything else. That was a Virginia find there.
Oh, see, that's
Wow.
that's nice.
That's pretty.
I was just
And
about
it's like a pink quartz crystal.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to ask you. All right, do you like looking for gemstones too?
Yeah, I'm a geologist.
Yeah. Well, you ain't been showing us no gemstones.
If it's in the ground, I'll dig for it. Let me go find out.
Come on.
I'll be right
All right, we'll give you a minute. We'll play a commercial.
there.
We'll be right back, everybody.
We're live, so.
Do you like to mine for gold? Enjoy prospecting a nice crack in the bedrock? Enjoy getting outdoors to camp, fish, hunt, and hike on your public lands? You plan your trip, load the gear, grab the dog, put the family in the truck, and drive off to a locked gate. A sign says you cannot enter or access your own public lands. Mining claims and public land owned by we the people are being designated as off limits by our own government every single day. Are you concerned about the direction our government is going? Are you tired of seeing no access, no entry signs on your lands? We are, and we are fighting back. We are AMRA, America Mining Rights Association, the fastest growing small mining advocacy association in America. AMRA is a 501c3 not-for-profit formed by miners, hunters, off-roaders, retired military men and women to stop the insanity. AMRA was formed to educate, unite, and help the small miners and public land users on their rights given to us by God. Do you want access to great mining claims? For a small tax-deductible donation to their Miners Legal Fund, your family gains access to proven excellent mining claims across America for an entire year. AMRA challenges the USFS, BLM, EPA, and the other agencies intent upon stopping you from enjoying your own lands. You are who pays these people's wages. It is time they listen to us. We need to unite. And that is what AMRA is doing. As you sit here right now, thousands of acres of public lands are being closed, locked, and blocked from use by you. Are you fed up yet? Join us. Get in on this fight and let's restore America to what our families fought and died for. Freedom. Just visit AmericanMiningRights.com. AmericanMiningRights.com. Also, check us out on Facebook at American Mining Rights Association. AmericanMiningRights.com.
All right, we are back. Let's get Matt spotlighted here again. All right, there you go.
Yep. Sorry, I'm back from my rummaging.
All good, man.
But I mean, yeah, definitely. I collect anything you can pretty much find in the ground. I mean, there's
Wow.
Okay.
fool's gold.
That's a nice piece.
Yeah, it was red on the outside, and I cracked it open and stuff, and it's a bunch of nice, pyrite and everything. That's from a gold bearing area. There's a potential that if you crush that down, this probably might have gold in it. This actually does have gold in it. That's a piece of ore found in the river.
And it definitely has gold in
You
it.
can maybe see, actually, I think it's like
Yeah, right there.
Yeah,
right
see,
there.
A little bit of gold.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
And limonite. So then the other stuff in there's limonite after pyrite mineralization. I don't know that one. So that's quartz
That's a cool
with
piece, though.
quartz with ilmenite.
Oh, that's the monkey quartz, isn't it?
What is it, Rich?
What's monkey quartz?
Is that what he said? Monkey quartz?
Nah, I said milky.
Well,
I thought
that's
he's monkey too.
quartz with ilmenite. So the black in that's ilmenite, which is a titanium mineral.
Okay.
Just other quartz crystals and stuff.
Wow, that's cool.
That one's awesome.
This one might not look like much, I guess, but it was either botryoidal goethite or botryoidal hematite. I can't remember. I identified it, now I forget.
That is
But the black, you know what botryoidal? It's like a black bubbly looking pattern almost.
weird.
Like grape agate. You know what grape agate is?
No. I am not a geologist.
Garnet.
That's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Almandine garnet. The one guy in this case is a topaz.
Nice.
Found dredging since it was
Found that.
slightly heavier. It was slightly heavier, so it hung out in the pan.
Right.
more than quartz wood, which then it caught my eye. And yeah, that was a topaz is what it got it identified as.
That one's cool.
Kyanite.
Oh, wow.
That was real cool.
Then, I mean, I also, fossil hunt occasionally. So that's a little piece of a trilobite.
Nice.
That's actually from all the way back in college. So
Okay.
I haven't done fossil hunting in a long time, but actually this summer we're going to be vacationing in a place in Raystown, Pennsylvania. And the one formation off the one side of the lake, the Mahantango formation, should hold potential trilobites and other stuff. So we'll see what I can find. Another fossil there.
Now, Matt, I've got this rock I show people all the time. Nobody knows what it is. So I'm going to have to show you. Okay.
Okay. Am I able to pull your screen up bigger?
I'll make it bigger. Hold on.
Okay. But then this is a fossil here. This is Syringopora. This is found in Pennsylvania up at Kinzu, Allegheny National Forest.
Oh, really?
So where it came from, I'm not specifically sure because it's all rounded on the outside, so it might have traveled. But then pottery, Indian pottery.
That's cool.
So what's this rock?
All right, I'll remove your spotlight. I'll spotlight me. Now, nobody ever knows. And a ton.
Rocks are so hard to identify over
It might
the
be
camera.
hard to see on video. Yeah.
I'll try to make it to where you could see it. Really cool.
God.
Might have to get rid of
Your
back.
blurred background might be.
There's a blur. All right, hold on.
Where was it found? We'll start with that.
Found in Ohio.
Found in Ohio, which doesn't help because it could be glacial.
Weighs a freaking ton.
It weighs a ton. That's a little better there.
There's a better picture.
It's
very
very
black.
smooth. It's black.
Sure, that's not a meteorite.
That doesn't look that heavy.
It is very, very heavy.
Is it heavy?
And what have you done any testing on? Have you done a streak test,
Oh, nothing. I don't know how to do none of that stuff.
hardness
Magnet
test?
test.
Any of that would help.
No.
So that side with the holes in it is interesting. Go back to that.
Yeah.
What can you tell what those holes are?
Just holes, dude. It's,
You have put a magnet on it before, didn't you?
yeah.
Is it magnetic?
No.
No.
Nope.
Okay, so
Are those holes? Do they look more bubbly or are they more like holes?
I don't know. They just look like holes to me.
Like volcanic holes or
I hate to say it, but I wonder if it's slag.
I don't know. It's
Because some of that texture with the holes looks kind of like
right, but
glassy
it's like
slag.
slag from what?
I mean, Ohio's had so many industries over the
I
past.
found
like,
this up in the
especially
up in the hills where there would have been no industry
shouldn't be anything.
at all.
Glacial area?
No.
Not glacial area.
No way. No, too high up in the hills. You know.
Well, you're saying too high up in the hills, but when I
Huh?
say glacial, like if the part of the state was glaciated, it was glaciated.
Okay. I don't think so. Not in that area.
So you're down in
Down in southern Ohio. Yeah.
southern, eastern.
Down by Marietta.
Okay.
Mhm.
I wish I could see it in person. Are you going to be out at Gold Rush or the Fossick or
I'll
anything?
try to get there. Yeah. You're gonna
Bring it with you.
Okay.
It's so hard to identify stuff just through a camera. Like,
Yeah. It's just one that's
Super
been
heavy.
puzzling.
I was gonna say mail it to him.
Yeah. Well, if he's gonna be at the Fossick, I'm a
yeah, I'm going to be at the Fossick.
nice.
When is the faucet?
That is
June 17th, I think.
17, 18,
Yeah, I think 17th, 18th.
something like that. Yeah.
Because I can't make it.
Um,
I'll be going down to the beach.
Yeah. And as far as other things, like, I mean, anything I can find.
Oh, Arrowhead.
I have a bunch of different arrowheads and stuff.
You
that
ever
were-
find any in Pennsylvania? Any there?
I have never found one arrowhead.
I've heard
All
so
mine
many
are from
people
Virginia.
say there were lots of them in PA, and I've had a buddy of mine back when I was a kid. His parents used to go out and find loads of them all over the place in PA.
Let's
It's just it's mainly I just don't have access to area up here to really go look, because to look for arrowheads, the best ground is a lot of times ground that was just logged.
uh-huh. All right,
Um,
one more, Matt, and then I won't ask you to.
Okay, bring your screen back up then.
Let me unblur. This is was a weird one, and this was why I kept this one because it's kind of reddish all through here, and then it's got all this weird crap on it. And again, weighs a freaking ton.
Looks like a potato.
Feels like
Does the
iron.
does the fracture on it where it's broken there, is it like fractured glass almost? Does it have like a conchoidal shell type fracture?
Kinda ish, yeah.
I wonder if it's chert or flint.
It feels like iron, and that redness always made me curious. What the heck why is it so red?
If it's got that conchoidal type fracture, it could be chert or flint, which are basically the same thing.
That would make it heavy. Okay.
But I mean, Ohio is well known for a bunch of flint and other stuff out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's our state stone is flint.
So it could be that, because a lot of times chert and flint will form as nodules, like rounded, weird little nodules in a limestone type ooze is what they form.
Okay.
Or a shale or stuff like that. So that certainly could be flint or chert. So
yeah, I'll bring that one too. The redness on it is what got my attention.
There's red flint. I mean, I think some of the stuff in Ohio is particularly known for red flint.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense.
Yeah, the name is eluding me, but it's Flint Hills or something like that. Or there's some, I think, some interesting flint that comes out of Ohio there.
That was found up in southern Ohio too. Same place, actually.
Okay.
It's just like, weird.
Matt, do you ever do any dowsing?
No.
Never tried it?
Nope.
Dowsing?
Nope.
I'm not a believer. Sorry. I've seen the conversations, I've seen all that stuff and brought it up myself. I mean, I'm more along the lines of Chris Ralph. If you've watched his video on dowsing and what he believes of it.
No, I didn't see his video.
Specifically when we talk dowsing for gold. Now, when I was working with drillers a lot for geotech stuff, they would do dowsing for the electric and water lines and everything. I can see that maybe being something that could work, given that electric lines, there's a current, water lines, you have like a specific flowing thing. But as far as the dowsing for gold, everything I've ever read says in every scientific study, double blind study ever done, it comes out 50-50. You're good off guessing.
Yeah, it's witchcraft to me.
Yeah.
Now that will start probably a firestorm in the comments of people then who just say you're not. I mean, you get into this topic and it goes all over the damn place. I'm like, more power to you if you believe in it and you want to do it. That's fine.
Right.
But like specifically with dowsing for gold, like people say they'll douse a stream and it crosses here, we go down, we find gold. I mean, if you're in the gold bearing area and you put yourself there in the first place, I can go stick my nozzle pretty much anywhere and I'll find gold.
Right.
So that's the thing. Like I'm tempted to do a YouTube video, particularly doing that, where when we go out on some of the rivers here this summer, like a couple of my friends who believe in it, like you guys go douse, find your spots, do all that.
Right.
And I'll pick my spots and we'll see. But it's
even then,
the problem is with that is I'm already where we are going. I'm already putting us there for the specific reason that I believe
there's gold there.
There's good gold there. So like if there's good gold there, you almost set down anywhere and you have a decent chance of finding good gold. So
all right. Well, we look forward to seeing that video.
I got to see how to put that one together and not piss a bunch of people off.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. I mean,
yeah, it is what it is.
I know. Some of my buddies believe in it.
I mean, I've done it before, but like you said.
So if dowsing works, then why are we still able to find these?
Yeah.
Like, because you have people who'll say that it can point you in the direction,
right?
And then it'll point you to where to go, and then it'll tell you how deep it is. It'll tell you what it like. Okay, if it can do that, then show me all your nuggies that you found.
Yeah, right. Good point. Yeah.
I haven't found any big nuggets like that.
No. Nope.
I mean, all those nuggets and stuff was research and luck.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
combination of those.
Sure. I think if you're going to use dowsing rods, you might as well just use a metal detector. Just call it a day.
I mean, I don't even think. I mean, a lot of people will use metal detectors to like try and delineate out like where the heavies are flowing.
You're right.
I don't even necessarily. I should say within like the southeast. I don't necessarily think that tells you that much.
Okay.
So where lead is entering the stream could be random, could come from anywhere. And it's going to enter, it could have just fell there. Where gold is entering the stream is going to be very specific locations. And if you're talking that gold is only going to have moved, or it's the good gold is with only in 1.5 to 2 miles of the source, it's almost probably not even reached the point where it can form like definitive good placer deposits.
Okay.
And where
That's a
lead is
good point.
entering,
If you can just douse and find the source, then
yeah, that's the thing. If the source is within 1 mile, go find it then.
Yeah.
For the metal detectors, though, like where that lead is going to end up is not necessarily going to be the same place as lead is new. It's been in the stream less than 50 years, 100 years, maybe.
Okay.
That gold's been in the stream for 10,000.
All right.
Where they're in different strata and where they're going to end up to me is not the same place.
Okay. Gotcha.
Now, I'm saying that for the Southeast. West Coast stuff takes on its whole own element because you have much greater drop. If you go look at a river profile for the James River, and you go look at a river profile for the Yuba goes like this on a river profile. Like it's damn near vertical per mile.
Mm-hmm.
When you map it out. And I have a document somewhere that shows like the mapped out river profile as a fall per mile and stuff. And the James is like this nice, gentle.
Okay.
The gradient to get stuff moving and then the mass water flow to me is just not there. At least not currently. I'm not saying it wasn't.
Right.
But not currently. Because like now in California right now, you're probably getting some gold moving with that massive amount of snowpack and everything else happening.
Mm-hmm.
But my theories and thoughts, a lot of stuff with the Southeast, I think conflict with many people's.
Interesting though, Matt.
Just on what I've seen and stuff, like inside bend versus outside bend in the Southeast is almost to me irrelevant.
Right.
It's what's on bedrock. The inside and current outside bend of the stream has no meaning on where the gold is. The gold is influenced more by the bedrock and then probably by the previous streams. And I think in Australia, they call it like a deep lead, where they'll have, so in Australia, like the current stream channel isn't necessarily gold bearing other than where it crosses the old gold bearing stream channels. So that's what I'm saying. Like back when Ice Age, when those streams were potentially like braided streams across the entire thing, that's when gold was moving. And then since the Ice Age ended and the climate has changed to a more subtropical type environment from more arid during the Ice Age, we got this more influx of sediment, silt, built up floodplains, dammed in all that stuff, trees lock it all in. And now your gold bearing channel weaves in and out of in the valley bottom there in the floodplain, but it's more so where does the existing stream channel cross that gold bearing channel?
Right.
Because I can go pan inside bends of gravel bars and not find anything until I get down to bedrock.
Right. Okay.
And also with it being so close to the source in most cases is how much of it is simply just source specific on where it came from versus like river deposited placer type stuff. I don't know.
Very interesting though. Dude, it's been too long. You have to don't stay away so long next time.
I know you need to bring me on for other stuff and all that because now I've also gone into like 3D printing a whole bunch of
geez.
stuff and all that.
That's cool.
And I mean, you guys can tell me what that is, right?
Yeah. Pretty sweet, man.
Yeah.
I'm printing a new version out because right now this one has a very weak area right here where it breaks.
Oh, okay.
Um,
The miniature one, yeah.
but yeah, like sluices and all that type of stuff.
Wow. That's pretty cool, man.
We'll see how some of this stuff holds up, but it's for different stuff I'm working on.
Right.
So when you're out, real quick here, when you're out 5-6 days out on the river, I know you guys, I've seen some of your setups. You haul stuff when you're out there, you know, you guys are on your boats and you float down the river or wherever and you set up camp for the night and you go out and you dredge and you're doing your test spots. Okay.
Yep.
I think at one time, didn't you use a La Trappe sluice inside your dredge to do your cleanup? Is that how you still do it?
Yep, that's exactly how I still do it.
You're
Doing the
quick cleanups that way, right?
Yep, take all your cons out of your dredge box, put them in the bin, close your whole sluice back up on the dredge, stick the La Trappe in there, put a weight on it, fire your dredge up, usually right at about idle, maybe a little more. And then you just scoop your bin stuff out right in the La Trappe sluice and concentrate it down to a single pan.
Wow.
That's how you do your
Okay.
spot checks and your cleanups and all that stuff to make it.
Yeah, I hate recirculating systems at home.
Yeah.
I
And
avoid
I was going to
using
ask
them.
you. I was going to
I
ask
don't
you
know.
what you use.
A La Trappe, and then once I get home, I just simply pan it.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Recirculating systems at home have always just seemed to have been a pain for me. So
Uh-huh.
that's the I had one of those California Geo Sluice. Yeah, I used that at home at one point. I had one. It's so you got to teaspoon it in. I don't know. I like the La Trappe. It does fantastic. I mean, Dave McCracken was using them out in California before the ban and everything with ounces of gold. And he said he tested all his stuff out of the tailings and minimal losses, like acceptable losses.
Mm-hmm.
And I've honestly sent my tailings out of the La Trappe sluice. So I got like 2 grams in the La Trappe. I've sent the tailings to a buddy who runs Dream Mat in his cleanup sluice and says, it'll pull everything out. And I think he got like a speck. Like that's acceptable law. I don't
Right.
know. It's a spec.
Well,
Whatever.
yeah. I mean, come on.
So yeah, I mean, part of it comes down to with us being on rivers so much and being miles away from the nearest ramp, and weight becomes an issue.
Yeah.
I can't cart 5-gallon buckets of crap back.
That's why I wanted to bring that up because I knew you used to do that and I wasn't sure if you still continue.
That's still my primary method of doing it. Yep.
What mats are you using in your dredge now? Would you like to say?
Stock Pro line.
Just-
All right. So just
Which, yeah, Stock Pro line.
Just
I know.
what
I mean,
it came with the machine.
is that miners moss and
Hunter's Moss, is that what it is?
Miners, Moss, and Riffles. Yep.
riffles. Yeah.
And
Expanded
I've
metal?
done. Huh?
Expanded metal. You use that
No,
too?
the expanded metal on the Pro line is in the upper tray under the punch plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a small expanded metal over the Miners Moss.
Right.
And at least for my gold in my area, I've set up a sump, and I'm actually a lot of this stuff right here is for a new sump setup that I'm working on.
Uh-huh.
You know, like the Keen Supermax, the 6-inch Supermax, how it has that sump with 2 side sluices.
Yeah.
I've built a sump and set it up on my 4-inch, and I've run it 4 or 5 times. Generally, at those times when I've run it, I think I've got about 2 grams in the main box.
Mm-hmm.
And the sump box has had maybe 20 flour, tiny powder
Okay.
to the point where I can't weigh it.
Gotcha.
And at that point, like we're looking at above 98% capture rate.
Mm-hmm.
I can't justify changing anything out. But I will say in particular, gold in the Southeast is very crispy, coarse, and chunky.
Right.
It's easy to catch compared to many places. It's not very placer-flied flakes.
Right.
The Idaho stuff is probably much harder to catch. But in most cases, I can't justify a reason to change it out.
Right.
Um,
Right. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
I feel like I probably get into some fights with people online because some of them, I know Dennis is a big Dream Mat guy. I think Dream Mat completely has its places and its uses. I am not convinced on it on larger dredge setups.
Yeah.
That is a lot of water and big material going through there, messing everything up as it goes through.
Now on a dredge, I use riffles, miner's moss.
Yeah.
On a high banker,
Yeah,
Dream
high
Mat.
banker's a classified system. I think in a classified system, Dream Mat's probably one of the best.
Absolutely. That is the best for me.
One of the things that the sump system to me has generally not been worth setting up. So why am I building another sump system? What I want to work towards doing, and this is probably going to be 2 or 3 years in the making because of just how I work. I want to get the sump system. To me, is a great way to test how your box is doing. Because then it's not necessarily, we have to set up in a kiddie pool and run it and know how much. It's a percentage based system.
Right.
It's the main box caught this percentage. The sump system, the secondary system caught this percentage. And in that way, I like a percentage system better for that type of testing, because then you're actually running true ground all day with all your issues and mess ups and things going on, hard packed clay, that you can't replicate it in a pool.
Mm-hmm.
Does a pool system, testing system possibly tell you some stuff? Yes. But what the ultimate goal with the sump system is get it to the point where I have at least a year of testing with it on the stock ProLine box. Then after I'm happy with that amount of testing and the sump system is standardized to the point where I'm like not changing anything in it to change variables, which could change things. I guess I'm going to have to pony up and buy a Dream Mat setup for a 4-inch dredge, which I do not want to do because it's expensive as shit.
Yeah.
It's
like
damn
$400
near $400 plus the
$400
jargon riffle and all that goes
For a
into
mat.
it.
I didn't know it was that much.
Yeah, it's $400 for that wide, however long for your
I think for a 4-inch dredge, a 16-inch box, 16-inch wide box, it's about $400 plus the Jarvie riffle and miner's moss up, the recommended setup.
Wow.
And then I'm going to have to go through a year of testing.
Well, they have to have some other riffles in it too.
Huh?
What was you saying about the riffles?
The Jarvie, the zigzag.
Oh, yeah.
Zigzag punch plate thing. It's basically like, from what I can tell, is the recommended setup for a dredge that they're professing as the recommended setup. So then I'm gonna have to buy that, and I'm gonna have to put in a year or more of testing with it, because I'm not going to do singular tests. I've in everything I've ever done in geotech, geology, a singular test tells you nothing. It's a not data point. Nothing. So it's going to take years. Unfortunately, I can't get anything out of it.
Well, good luck with that, brother.
I know, but that's the thing. Is like it's a weirdly hotly debated topic where people will jump down your throats.
Oh yeah, they will.
Like
When it comes to mat discussion.
Yeah.
Oh
if you
my
don't
god!
agree-
And I'm usually one of the ones who will try and very much out like very reason based on like what is going on, why I'm doing it. Like, you just bought this dredge. Learn that dredge setup.
Yeah.
Like, you paid for it. Learn it. It's just you're gonna be better off in the long run by simply learning it than just simply throwing it out, never learning it, and jumping to something else.
Right.
The more systems that you know how to operate and use and run correctly, the better off you're going to be in the long run.
Sure.
And then just the better understanding of gold and dynamics and how everything works.
I think what it is with a lot of people, they just want the simplicity. Miner's moss, you got a lot of extra cons. Where
So
Dream Mat, Gold Hog Mat, you don't. Yeah.
That's one I will say. If you are in particularly, if you're doing a large sampling regime on something, I can see Dream Mat being particularly good. Fast clean outs, minimal cons, and no contamination.
Right.
Miner's moss and carpet and those type of things, you will get contamination every time. And it messed me up in the past. But as far as like cons go, yes, you have more cons with miner's moss. And everybody says, oh, then it only takes 10 minutes to clean out with Dream Mat. But using the trap system and what I do, I'm like 30 minutes at the end of the day.
Yeah, the way you're doing it, that's a sweet idea.
And at the end of the day, like shit, I'm ready to sit there, pour cons into that for 30 minutes and have a beer and relax a little bit because I'm done.
Sure.
I'm not dredging anymore.
I mean, you found a good way to speed up.
I've got a La Trap because of you.
Okay, awesome.
That's the way.
I will say, so the Geosluice mining La Traps. Does anybody have one of those there with them, like the actual full size La Trap? I have Geosluice's mining mini La Trap.
I've got the full size.
You have their full size.
Yep.
Is it? So the original La Trap is a very smooth textured plastic, very defined ridges. The mini La Trap that I got from Geosluice is not that. It's more of a dimpled, slightly textured plastic, and the ridges are not nearly as defined. What is the full size? So that's the Geosluice California bucket cleanup sluice. And is that a dimpled plastic? That's a more dimpled plastic, right?
See, I got mine probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 years when they started making them again. Because they making them and then they started making them again, and I got one, and it's smooth. It's smooth.
Yeah. Okay. Because I've been having a hard time because my mini La Trap from Geosluice is a slightly bumpy plastic. And I honestly have not been happy with it. I can't get it to run right. It does not like to retain the black sands like it does. It's either like, it's very finicky. And I don't know if it's that it's just the mini version or if it's the definition of all the ridges and riffles is not as good as the full size La Trap. Right. And I don't know if that is in particular to the Geosluice mining ones, or is that in particular to the full size versus small? I don't know.
Right.
Because my full size one, I think I specifically sought out the other brand that produces them that's not Geosluice. And it's the nice, smooth, definite, the plastic with very good ridges in it.
Yep.
And I've not been sure about the Geosluice stuff with their full size ones on what it's going to be because I cannot tell from the pictures. And I don't know if anybody out there has the Geosluice one and can maybe get with me and send me some really good pictures and let me know what that texture is on and how those ridges are defined.
Yeah, if it's the smooth one or the dimply one.
Yeah. And I don't
got
know.
This, I got this one at the Phoenix GPA Goat Show 2 years ago, and they had the La Trap set up too, but I don't remember the larger one that you're talking about.
Yeah, the full size one is what I use.
I haven't seen it.
It's 40 some inches long. It's almost as long as the dredge sluice.
Right.
Yep.
Now, is it like 16 inches wide too, or is it like 14 inches wide?
It's right. It fits almost perfectly. I think I had to trim. So the full size one goes up and then you have the little wings that come out. I think I had to trim those just slightly to get it fit into the 16-inch wide 4-inch sluice.
Yeah.
Cool. But that's what we used out Idaho for cleanups. You just put it right in the back of even the bigger 6-inch dredge box, 5-inch dredge box. You have to, with the different dredges and the bigger ones and stuff, you just have to figure out like kind of where it needs to go within the system to get the setup right and everything and how you need to play with it. But yeah, I prefer that way of clean out and everything. And
that's the way to do it. That's the speed way. I like it. The fast way.
as far as the Dream Mat stuff goes, I'll got to get the sump system going correctly. Got to get testing all done with the 4-inch stock box for over a year or more.
No. When you get it done, come back. Don't wait 3 years or 4
Yeah,
years,
I need to get on the
5
show
years,
more often.
whatever the heck. Yeah.
I could, because I mean, we barely got into 3D printing stuff. We haven't talked about
Right.
technology
See,
stuff
we have
at
to get you
all.
back sooner. A couple months to get you back on here.
Yeah, need to come up to Idaho on my claims. South Fork Clearwater River, brother.
Yeah, I still have my dredge collection will be fine for it. I got the 4-inch Pro line, 4-inch Dalkey, 5-inch Pro line, 6-inch Pro line.
You got enough dredge.
The 5 and 6-inch Pro lines just happened to come about because I couldn't pass it up.
Right.
Up in the middle of New York on Facebook Marketplace popped up for sale. It was 3 5-inch Pro lines and a 6-inch.
Wow.
Plus an extra set of 6-inch floats. Not all the motors were there. And none of the sluice boxes have riffles or had riffles.
Wow.
They were used for pond cleaning.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a pond cleaning business.
Okay.
And for the price of all those, I couldn't pass it up. I've already sold 2 of the 5 inches and made my money back on what the entire lot costs.
Nice.
So I basically have a 6-inch Pro line and a 5-inch Pro line for free.
Nice.
You want to sell one? Look,
I've been debating with selling the 6-inch Pro line because I could use the money.
well,
And I
get a
don't-
hold of me if you decide to sell it.
I don't have that many areas to use it, but then I always go back and I'm like,
What is
I
it?
could never replace it for what I got it for. I got it for basically zero,
Right.
and they cost 12 grand new.
Yeah.
Well, hit me up, please, if you decide to get rid of it, because I'd like to have one, because I've already got a 5-inch and a 4-inch up in storage
Okay.
where my claims are, but I'd love to have a 6.
It's a beast. I built the box. I built the box on all those ones that then I sold out basically, as well as the 5-inch one. I still have to finish building it since I sold the 5-inch box that I used in Idaho with one of the other ones just so I could sell it.
I'll trade one in on it, give you a little bit of money to boot.
And then, so it's not quite a stock standard Pro line box. I made some changes to it.
Right.
You know how Keen does like their slow flow technology on like the back end of some of their 4s?
Yep.
Kind of added a whole secondary classification plate off the rear.
Okay.
And I mean, out at Idaho, it worked great. We had to get a little more angle on it. So we usually had to weight the back of the pontoons. And I'm not quite sure if it's something with the riffle trade design or do the Pro line 6 inches with the 6.5 horsepower and the HP 400s just need to be run up near full throttle.
Right.
That's technically the small Pro line 6-inch.
Don't know.
Because they're big ones, 2 9 horsepowers with 2 HP 500s.
Yeah, that's a big motor. So,
So I don't know quite what it was. We just had to, it would kind of, and it could also be that the Salmon River in that area had a lot of heavy basalt.
Yeah, it
And
does.
that was the stone that just liked to hang up in the box.
I'll be darned.
So we just had to put like a rock or 2 right on the back of the pontoon, just give it a little more cant, and then she
All
was
right.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're clear. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. 9:30.
Yeah.
But we want to thank you for coming and hanging out with us, Matt.
Yeah, no, it was a blast. Yeah, I can't wait. What was it? 5 years?
Let's not do that again.
Yeah.
No, and we'll have to get, is it possible in the future that me and then my buddy Nick would be on at the same time?
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah,
Because
most certainly.
he was with me out there in Idaho. He's helping me with the channel now and everything.
Let's
He's
just-
pretty with me on every trip.
Yeah,
And he's a hoot.
let's do it. Yeah, no,
He's a former Marine and he is hilarious.
Time for 5. Yep.
it's always rich. So there you go. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
Jaron will get with you and set something up. We'll do it soon, within a month or so. Okay,
Okay, yeah, cool.
sound good?
Give us maybe because
You tell us.
June is going to be very busy.
All right, you
June's gonna
tell
be very
us.
busy.
All
So
right.
maybe in July would be good.
July. All right, we'll
Yeah.
shoot for July. Getting you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, just get with me. We'll get it figured out.
Yeah.
Put
Yeah.
you on
Sounds
the
good.
calendar.
Awesome, Matt. Thanks,
All
brother.
right, Matt. See you,
Appreciate
buddy.
it.
All right. Thanks
Cool,
for
yep.
joining us.
Yeah, thanks,
No
Matt.
problem. Glad to be here. We'll talk to you guys later.
All right, take care, buddy. Bye, Matt. All right, everybody. Matt Hospodar. I thank him again.
The prospecting
The
geologist.
prospecting geologist. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And I normally say don't forget to join us Wednesday, but since that's not happening no more, we'll see you
Who
next.
we have on Tuesday night?
Oh yeah, Tuesday night hangout, Jared. Who do we got?
Caught me with my pants down. Give me a
Yep.
second.
I think you said it before, but
We used to do. That's why you don't have your camera on.
you said it on Wednesday night, but I don't remember.
Starries, Lost and Found.
Ari's Lost and Found, joining Ed and Jess over in their Tuesday night hangouts. Okay, be sure and check that out. And if we have a guest for next week, we'll announce it later on during the week, so stay tuned for that. Until then, we're out of here. Everybody have a great week. We'll see you next Sunday.
Good night, Gold Digger.
Not
Hi,
everyone.
everybody.
Bye,
Go Diggers.
everybody.
Be sure to tune in next Sunday at 7:30 for another great show. For updates and more info, please go to www.prospectorsradio.com.